entire length of the term.
That's why
From
George and-
206 all the way to 25.
Okay, what did you end up telling him? He's gonna drag it off his fence?
And we're gonna take carry on and get it.
Shane, is Dennis still on the phone?
I gotta call him.
Okay. Why don't you call him back and let's do the committees real fast and we can get that done while he's on the phone.
Oh, darn it.
Nine.
And then we
5, 7.
here's the committee appointments as they stand. So
Oh, did I hang up on him? Dennis.
No,
Dang it. Let's try it again. 9.
Is somebody taking my phone or-
No.
that was you.
Yeah, no.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes, sir.
I've got some papers coming in.
Yeah, I need a large pizza. two bags of jerky, fully loaded, and a Dr. Pepper. Nah, you ready?
I think that's all that was.
All right, I'm putting on speaker.
Thank you. Yes.
Can you hear us, Commissioner?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we'll come back into order here. Have our work session for the fleet and committee appointment. Ms. Hamilton, I'll let you
Sure.
take over.
So this is something y'all do each year annually in preparation for the January meeting. This is an annual listing. So some of these are automatic where the commission always serves and we know where the updates will be, like on the finance board, the land use committee and such. But you'll see that Commissioner Lee was also on local growth management. We have not had any meetings on that one, but there will be a vacancy there that will need to be filled by a commissioner. The other one is going to be the Chamber of Commerce. And again, Chamber of Commerce does not necessarily have to be a commissioner. It can be another elected official from another office, and we can explore that one a little bit more. I know Mandy had some initial thoughts and some good conversation there. The rest of these are all just listings. There will also need to be a transition currently in District 3. You have Jerry Favor appointed on your Board of Ethics and John Canmore as the alternate. So Mr. Criswell will need to determine if those will continue or if he has new appointments. And I know we'll have a long road trip, so we can talk about anything you have questions on. But those are 2 appointments that could also come into play. So otherwise, we just need to update this as the board sees fit and just prepare for the January meeting. So if you're currently serving somewhere and you don't want to be doing that, or you'd like to be somewhere else, you want to be on one of these because it's the passion. We typically have some notes and just get this ready for January and assign whatever new ones y'all want to the incoming commissioner.
I think Mix Dixon's doing good at where she's on the Association of Counties. I think she'd still like it.
And that's actually not at y'all's appointment alone. When it's necessary, the entire 10 elected officials
to vote
will.
that.
So that there's no change for her appointment on the board of directors. When she's up for reelection and when it comes to that point, then the clerk's office will run an election with all 10 electeds.
She replaced
Which
Mr.
one was that?
Lopez
The first one?
midterm.
Yeah, the first one. That's she's our voting member. For the,
And she
Association.
replaced Mr. Lopez midterm when he needed to be taken off. So her term expires
well,
in 24, I think.
yeah, there's about 10, not 10, but it's department head.
So
all
this will be-
Yes, 10 elected officials,
elected.
all
This will be
5
addressed
commissioners and the
again.
other 5.
the other 5.
Y'all will vote for that again in another year.
Dennis, do you have a
In 24.
do you have a list of all these in front of you?
Yeah, I know that I'm on the BNSF, and then I'll like I talked to you earlier, Shane.
I'm
Commissioner,
texting it to
Hey,
him.
look, you're right here.
I'd like to.
Are you
stay
texting it
status
to him?
quo.
Yeah, I'm going to send this to you. So if there's anything you want to see,
No, I'll say status quo where I'm at.
well, I'm going to send it to you just because I already went through the effort.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Well, has anybody got anything they want to be on or don't want to be on? Or do we need to add anybody to
I
a?
don't.
You need to add somebody for the local growth management.
Well, can we just write District 3 in there and he's automatically in when he comes?
You would think that would
How often do
happen.
they meet?
We ain't had
They
one yet.
don't.
You would think
Just if they had one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
you'd think Roy Lee would just automatically replace you.
I,
And I'm good with that. If he is.
What about that Chamber
I don't know what it
of
is,
Commerce
what?
Board of Directors?
Oh, you'll find out.
you know, Rod, I go to them when, like, tomorrow they're having one, I could probably go. But they're usually the same time, the same day.
That's what, Army?
It's tough. I went to about 3 or 4 of them. That was it. Mandy, who is you? I know she said earlier.
I suggested to Victoria that she might want to serve on that because she is going to have to run for office. She needs to get her name out there and
Mandy,
be.
talk loud, please.
I
Thank you.
suggested Victoria Ramos for that one so
Who
that
are you talking about?
Victoria, the chief deputy treasurer,
Okay.
because she's going to have to run for office when Lael terms out, and she could use it as an opportunity to get her name out there and do some networking.
And I'd be happy to talk to her. I don't think it's
Well,
fair
before
to
we
just
can,
stick her
yeah,
in
before
there.
we can stick her in there.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
hey, I just got your message. I did not know that I was on the chamber with you.
Yes.
You're
Just-
the alternate.
Just the alternate.
Oh, okay. I've never been to one of their meetings.
That means Shane didn't let you know he was missing a meeting, so
Yeah.
you're okay.
Dennis, I'm missing
But he
tomorrow.
didn't miss the meeting.
I'm missing tomorrow, Dennis. You can go.
All right, I'll be there. Yeah, I'm good where I'm at right now.
Do you want to be, Dennis? Like I was telling Rod, they usually meet the same day as we do, and it's difficult to make them. But
I
like,
I think Mr. Savage would be good at that one.
well, did you hear what Mandy was saying that Veronica in the treasurer's office with Victoria?
And I expose her name and be part of something like that.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be. Oh, Amber said it doesn't have to be a county commissioner, right?
No.
Okay.
She'll just have to come to a meeting if there was something to report.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I want to stay with BNSF though for sure because you just never know.
Yeah, let's leave you there, and we'll ask her. If not, we'll find a second alternative. You can go first, and we'll find an alternate that works. Y'all, why am I talking?
You're doing a good
Y'all are
job.
gonna be doing this.
As the chairman, I didn't know.
Oh, how about we ask her to do it? And if she says no, we'll put you as the voting member, and we'll find an alternate.
Yeah. Hey, are we live or anything? Like, can I say jokes or anything like that?
Oh no, Dennis, no racial jokes, bud. We're on.
Not racial. I was gonna.
I did when I was on.
Yeah, we're on live.
Okay.
Okay.
It wasn't going to be bad. Nothing bad. It's just,
Oh.
I didn't know if live or if this was a off record
Oh.
meeting.
No, not yet.
No. I'll pull this in the meeting. All right, Paul, are you good on your Canon community partnership?
I'm good.
Is most of these, Amber, just need one or two, or does
Mhm.
somebody wants to be on it? Can they ask to be be on.
Yeah, and they're always welcome to attend those meetings and everything, like local or the emergency preparedness. We had a commissioner on there, but we really needed Mr. Montiel, so y'all had made that transition to Mr. Montiel serving in that committee a few years ago, and that's worked really well. If there was a commissioner, y'all get the meeting announcements, and if y'all want to go to that, you're always welcome. The main thing is that we don't have a quorum showing up without y'all having the public
Yeah.
notice posted. But there's really very few other changes needed. We just needed some ideas on the local growth management. It's automatic again on the finance board and the land use, to be determined on the board of ethics. And then everything else is relatively unchanged because those were the other areas that you were involved in, Commissioner Lee.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to stay on the LGMC. I was real proactive with that one when we went through the BRAC process. They were very active back then, but I know there hasn't been much meetings. But I'm willing to stay on that one as well.
Okay. Well, let's just put soon to be commissioner still in the local growth committee. Can we do that? Since he's not sworn in yet, or do we have to have a?
We're not doing any action today. Y'all are just giving me some
Okay.
ideas, and all of this will come before y'all for formal action in January.
Then we'll approve everything.
Mhm. Let's move Dennis. If you want to call her Victoria.
That's right.
No, but I still call her Veronica again. Victoria, let's put her where I'm at there, and then Dennis is alternate. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's put Roy Lee at local growth. Roy Lee, do you see something else? You'll be on that and the finance board, which there's not a whole lot of. There's something you.
Looks like y'all locally five are
Mm-hmm.
on the, what, you know,
Yeah.
I'll just take your spot wherever you.
I'm pretty good at that. Besides where the chamber is, and we'll put Victoria there.
Yeah.
Either that or you have to go eat a sandwich every now and then. Okay. Well, I'm all right with that, Amber.
Okay. Any other changes? Anybody?
Dennis, you have any other changes?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I think Miss Dixon will be, I think she'll be all right with where she's at.
She hasn't expressed any
To be on anything else.
any requests to change anything, and I know she really enjoys serving on the community development
Mhm.
center
The
board.
Coalition
So
of Counties, we have her on. She does really well with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think.
okay, thank you.
Well, that's something you want to think about though on your board of ethics. Of we've never had it. We just have to have a list of people that they say Paul said something horrible to me. You know, I have to get the ethics board out here to investigate what Paul said.
Well, sounds like cop.
No,
Say that, what come out and investigate.
well, not investigate, but see if what he said was unethical.
Then again, I'm still saying,
No, it's
somebody besides anybody can say, yeah, it's unethical.
Well, and John Canmore did move out of your district.
Mm-hmm.
oh, he did. He ain't moved yet.
He's
Building
building
a
a house in Mr. Savage's district.
He's not yet. won't
He
be.
actually is. He
Yeah,
lives
you'll
in
have
his,
to have.
So I need to have a conversation with him on replacing me on the school board. He'd shown an interest in it.
Somebody think.
in the Portales Public School Board.
How do you come up with-
He'd shown an interest in it in the last election, then decided not to run.
And talk to him. You
But I
need to
need
talk to him before and everything,
I need to get all
and
from
then you can let me know. And the ethics ordinance
Joe
was in your
Biden
packet.
and
Okay, so the
I
other
think
thing that we need to talk about is fleet, and I don't have the list, so it's imaginary from the sheriff's office. But we can start with you because I know you need to do work.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Morning, Commissioners. So right now on fleet, we're doing pretty good. If we could get the ones that we have getting built right now built. We've got one out of the 4 pickups that we got like
Last year,
last year. Yeah. So they're still in the shop. Radios has been the biggest thing, trying to get radios in. We salvaged a radio out of one of the units that we're sending to auction. and Yucca had one that they were able to get to us, but we're still waiting on 2 more radios to finish those 4 pickups. We have 3 Dodge Durangos getting pretty close to being picked up and built. Hopefully, when we're at the conference this week, I can deliver a check to Malloy Dodge, get those Durangos picked up, and arrangements made for WAC Upfitters to actually start building those. We were able to get those Durangos because state police had ordered an ungodly amount of units and have only picked up about half of them. So, which worked out for us. That way we could get some type of vehicles in order to use the junior bill so we didn't lose that money. We're going to build one of them as a transport unit. So it'll be, it'll have the cage, the console, radio. It'll have the back seat will be replaced with a plastic seat for inmates, since that one's going to always have inmates. And then the other 2 will be built with light, siren box, and cages, just like like the pickups that we have. So we're sitting pretty good. And then with the other capital outlay funding that we're having, looking at maybe building 2 patrol and trying to see if we can get 2 patrol and another transport unit. So, but other than that, once we get some of these built, I know maintenance needs a pickup. So hopefully we can get one of the better vehicles over to maintenance. That way he could have that pickup as well. So I know he's always kind of borrowing from us or the jail. When we don't have one, he borrows it from the jail. So we had given him a Explorer a while back, but that one I guess is not. I think that one actually went to auction already, and it just wasn't suitable for a maintenance vehicle. Really needs a pickup. So,
And it had a lot of maintenance issues. Y'all
Yeah.
guys drive them hard.
our guys drive the vehicles hard. They're responding to these emergency calls, and they're rough on the vehicles when they're trying to get to these emergencies. Not that we have pursuits every day, but when we do, that's rough on these vehicles. Responding to domestics, shots fired, calls, stuff like that. They take care of their units, but they also tear them up as well, trying to get to where they need to be.
I call that using them,
Yeah, they use them for sure.
tearing it up and using it.
So the good news is we don't anticipate having to have any kind of general fund allocation for their request for fleet, because we've been able to keep it moving with the junior bill and the capital outlay now. It's this, the main thing is spreading it out. Like Lieutenant Sanchez and I have talked about, we can't have 8 vehicles when they all come in at the same time. If they all go out at the same time, it becomes a financial burden to try to replace 8 at once. We're having incredible problems getting in inventory and everything, but we try to strategically place these vehicles in the fleet so that no more than like 4 are coming out, bless you. And the commission's having to set that budget. Otherwise it just becomes very cost prohibitive. So I feel like we'll have them phased out in at least a year between each one of them to continue to plan. The common practice with the commission has been replacing 2 fleets. So we've really been ahead of the curve the last few years. Now, the money isn't going as far. So we're 150,000 used to get us 4, it gets us 3.
And that 150 won't even upfit 3 patrol units with, like radars, cameras, stuff like that. We're trying to salvage out of some of them and use some of the LEPF money to supplement building those. So the cost is ridiculous, with the inflation and everything. So I think these Durangos were probably $7,000-8,000 more than a pickup. I think I would have to go back and look at the quotes, but they were quite a bit more than the pickups. But talking to Malloy, they have no idea when they're going to be able to get pickups in, and didn't know. He couldn't promise me that they would have pickups in and we could use that junior build before the end of the fiscal year. So we weren't willing to take the chance to lose that money. So we went ahead and went with the Durangos. And I'll stand for any questions if you have any.
Is there anything you can go after to help outfit them? I mean, next year?
He has the LEPF.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
Just that
funny.
one.
Yeah, we have the LEPF, and then obviously we got that junior bill. We were grateful for that. We use ARPA for some of
You can use
those.
Some of the junior build.
Yeah, so the junior bill is building.
It builds the whole.
it's not just about the.
Yeah, it's to buy the units and build them too. So we have 3 of them in the works right now. Those are the 3 Durangos. Those ones are the ones being built with the junior bill.
Anybody else have anything?
Dennis?
When were you?
I'm good. Thank you.
When are you going to assume your office?
January 1.
You will be sworn in on the 29th with the other newly electeds.
You go down road 12.
So, Mr. Lovato, you're next. And they all have copies of your handouts.
Seen it. Hey, when you drive on in the middle of it, tries to throw you in the bar ditch. You would drive it.
Did you pick up?
Could be. I use it.
That's right. Chairman, Commissioners, good morning or afternoon now. Anyways, as Lieutenant Sanchez was saying, these vehicles are getting tougher and tougher to get. I've had 2 ordered for almost 2 years. Finally got a little luck the other day, and I got 2 of them in transit. But saying that, when we first did order these things, they were $32,000 a piece. Now they're about $55,000 a piece now. So they're quite a bit more expensive now. I got the 2 coming in. Amber and I decided to go ahead and get them because they're being so difficult to get. I don't know when we'll get another set. If we decide to go for another 2 more vehicles, I don't know when we'll get them. Ford is getting really tough to get anything from them.
And just to clarify, the commission has already approved that. That wasn't
Yes.
Rick and I deciding to order 2 fleet.
Well, this was 2 years ago when y'all agreed to this 2 years ago. So I would like to order 2 more. I would like to see 2 more come in the next year, if y'all approve. Again, it's going to be about $110,000 for them. I would replace unit 1036 and 1037. I probably wouldn't get rid of them on this order that we get, these 2 that we get here, they said in January. The reason being is we did traffic control, and we had to borrow vehicles from other departments, sheriff's office, and they loaned us a vehicle to have enough vehicles out there for all my traffic control. So I would like to keep these 2 until we get more in stock. So moving on, also on this is a distributor truck. Our old one is a 1991, I believe it is. And the distributor truck, it's a GMC 92. The new one that I'm looking at is a 3,000 gallon one, and it's got a spray bar that expands up to 16 foot. It's all hydraulic, and you don't have to do nothing manual. But I got a price on it, and right now I think it's locked in at $300,000. And then also a chip box. Our Roscoe chip box that we got, I think it was been almost 13 or 14 years ago, and we bought it used back then, is every year it's given us, should I say, we really got to work on it every year to make sure it's going to run for every project that we're on. And the new ones that I'm looking at are $425,000. It'll do from 5 foot, a 5 foot spread to a 16 foot spread. And it's a variable header on it where it'll expand, and you can shut gates off, and it's pretty fancy, but that's how they all come now. So, but $425,000 for that. Also, I was looking at a hot box you know, there's about 4 months that it's really difficult to go out there and fix potholes because it's so cold, and that cold mix gets like concrete. But with this hot box, we would be able to put material in it and let it sit for about an hour or two, and this hot box will warm it up, or we can go out and patch holes in the wintertime. And it'll help in the summertime too. When your cold mix gets a little old, it gets a little real brittle, and it doesn't crawl as well. I priced that hot box at $30,000. Also, I looked at an air compressor, and one of them industrial Doosan, and they're not cheap, but as much as when we fight these fires, it's really difficult to get rid of all that smoke and dust that's inside those radiators. Our little air compressors just don't cut it. It's really, really difficult to get them cleaned out where we can run through the summer and not be running hot all the time. With one of these high-powered industrial air compressors, the volume of it would actually suffice, I think. But
Is that one on, are you talking about one on a trailer? and
yes, sir,
everything?
tongue pulled, one of them tongue pulled ones. So
You run jackhammer?
jackhammer. So this would work. I mean, eventually we could buy different tools for it, you know, but the jackhammer help drive in, post, or whatever we need to do with that. So
I'd just be careful if I blow out the radiator with that much air, you'll push all them fans flat.
correct. We try to stay square. And then also I had to put on the list when we do fix these potholes was one of them vibrating skid plates or a jumping jack compactor to help roll it in or pack the coal mix into these holes to help stay in the holes longer. I think I can get a pair of them for about $5,000 a set. Stand for any questions.
Talk about your capital outlay request.
So the capital outlay request on my equipment is going to be the distributor truck and also the chip spreader.
So they're seeing it. I just wanted y'all to understand you're seeing it in two places. Rick really wants one. So it's already on the capital outlay request that we will be in Santa Fe requesting from
The
our
distributor truck or
legislators.
the chip box you're talking about?
They're both on there.
That's the part where I said that the pieces of equipment have increased, so we're going to have to adjust them up a bit. So we're getting permission to modify those in hopes, kind of like what we did with the road
Mhm.
barn. You know, when we asked for it, we asked for 400,000 and got 250 in the funding, and that was adequate based off of what a neighboring county had built theirs for. But then COVID hit, and that building was over 630,000, 660, I think, somewhere right around in there, with the cost and increase of the materials. So it's a moving target when we have to set it, but the state wants actual estimates at the time we put these plans together, and then they want us to go back in there and we need to modify them to adjust those costs up as the equipment increases.
Miss Hamilton hit it right on the head. I was talking to the vendor that has these, and they said that on the distributor truck, it's going to be Etnar spray bar tanker. That will be a solid number. It's the chassis that they're jumping. If it's Peterbilt, Freightliner, International, they could come in and say, well, it's 140,000 now, but who's to say that in 6 months from now, if we do order one, it could be 200,000. So that number just keeps fluctuating, and it's going up and up and up.
Any questions for Ricky?
I have a quick question. I noticed on all of your pickups are F-250s. Is it essential that they be F-250s? I mean, would a F-150 work sometimes, or what's the reason they're all F-250?
When I first started here, Mr. Savage, it was F-150s and
Chevy 1500.
the 1500 Chevrolet. Thank you. And they were not holding up. As you can see, these are 2009s, and they're still on the road. they're holding up. They would withstand the beating that we give them. You know, we got 120 gallons of fuel, and then we got our air compressors and tools and whatever else the guys are carrying on there. They're deaf, and you would almost need that 3/4 ton, 1 ton pickup out there holding all that weight up there. So the F-250s is the way to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dennis, do you have anything for Ricky? All the roads you have? Dennis,
Good, Mr. Chairman.
are you good? All right.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So those are obviously the sheriff and the road were always the big ones. The other thing that we have is just we lump everything else kind of under the administrative spreadsheet. So the assessor's office has updated their mileage on both their fleet. Those are 2017s when they got those new. They're still under 20,000, and the assessors have gone above and beyond. They've really been great to loan out their fleet for those of us if we have more than. We have people traveling, going different directions all across the state to training. As long as they aren't needing them in the field, that hadn't been an issue. And then speaking with Mr. Floyd, that's going to be a continued practice. So we feel good about those. They still have plenty of mileage capacity left on them. They are, like I say, under 20,000, and they're doing their routine maintenance and maintaining those vehicles. So they don't have any needs there. Administration, we still maintain R2, and we just find that we don't have enough vehicles, especially if the clerks have the election going on and they have the Explorer signed out if anybody else needs training. So we've been utilizing the assessor's vehicles, or we'll have people that'll utilize extras from detention and such. So right now we aren't requesting a change in administration. Maintenance is in need of a pickup. They utilize primarily the pickup, the Ram that we got. When we had to go to the auction, the extra auction for DOT. Yes, we ran to get it, but we got it.
Well, I would love to tell that story.
No, I won. That's why it was there. Anyway, so I know that they're utilizing it, but like the sheriff's office shared, if we can rotate one of those fleet around and take one of those that they're ready to discard and place that in maintenance. They've just found that we need a pickup, a bed, the ability to pull a trailer, things like that. And the little SUV that moved was great for a time, but then it started having ongoing maintenance issues, lots of leaks and stuff. So we did dispose of that. Planning is still in good shape. He's just under 60,000 miles on his, and we're putting some step mounts on there for him to get in and out and handle the pickup. But his F-250 has held up really well for all the planning, and he's out in the field a lot, as y'all know. And that takes care of all except detention. So Administrator Ramsey can present on that one.
It's my first one, so right now we have the ADA van in transit, and that's moving in a positive direction. We just got word last week. I will be asking to dispose of the Chevy Malibu that we hold at detention. It's a 2009. The mileage is at 70,390. We have continued maintenance problems with it inside and outside the vehicle. The interior inside the vehicle is falling apart. We have tires, AC, heater, things like that we keep having to repair. And we're going to probably be asking for a new sedan, which could be used for the administrative part, for training, for MAT, compliance, DWI, security staff, to get to conferences, to get to training. Right now, the Malibu is just not dependable to send out of town. That's all I have.
What year is it?
It is a 2009.
And all of these, when the commission does approve, disposal goes to public auction, and then those funds are in turn put right back into the general fund off of any kind of sales or proceeds. So typically it's the sheriff's office fleet and stuff, but detention, that van that completely went down, was disposed of. It wasn't much, but if it's $1,200 and it's parts or anything, it goes right back into the general fund to help offset the cost of any kind of new fleet. So again, the point of this is just to kind of give an idea of what y'all are going to start seeing in the budget, and planning those out. You know, we did our road planning workshop. We'll do this one. And then next meeting's easy. It's the walkthrough. So this pretty much finishes out the housekeeping part of that. Again, and I'm hoping Commissioner Lopez heard too. So the van that has been on order for 2.5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
The ADA van, it is in transit. So
Yes.
it should be from California to New Mexico. It goes to the place in Albuquerque where we purchased the van. The good news for the county is that we are not on the hook for the daily additional costs that we were told that, is it Ford? I think it was Ford that was implying on the local dealer. So the Albuquerque dealer has put as much pressure on getting this out of the factory as we have. You know, we've been asking, we've talked to the commission, we've briefed y'all on this repetitively because it's been so hard to get this van. But the dealer in Albuquerque has had to shoulder the financial struggles of the lack of inventory and the chips. Is really what it came down to on these new vehicles. So we're excited to see that it makes it to New Mexico. I offered to like get to California and drive it back or whatever at this point. Like we just need it here so we can get it fixed. And they made that one happen. So now once it gets to Albuquerque, they'll put the cage and finish the upfit and everything else for the transport. And then we'll have that one taken care of. So that's the positive news after all of these years of trying to get this in place. And just wanted to reiterate that because I know that's something that Commissioner Lopez had asked about in previous meetings. So we're excited it's moving.
Thank you, Amber.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Everybody good? Awesome.
Thank you.
And that's all I'd stand for any questions or if y'all need anything further.
Mr. Lopez, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I'm good, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
One more thing.
Yeah.
January the 10th, we're going to move to Jake Lopez.
Yeah.
Do you think we could move it to 6 in the afternoon? So that, you know, I'm thinking probably one of the largest employers in Roosevelt County is the education system. Teachers who really won't have enough opportunity to voice much of the concern, and I think it might be better an opportunity for them. I think it could. Oh, I'm sorry. What I'm asking is, on our January 10th meeting, we've already decided to move it to the Jake Lopez, which I think that's great, and I appreciate that. But I think it might be advantageous to some of our constituents, especially people involved in education, who cannot come at a meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. It might be advantage to move that one meeting over to like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, so it'll allow people that are involved in education to come. So I'm just asking if y'all might consider that. I don't know, it's whatever y'all think.
There's just one catch, Rod, with having it of an afternoon is your employees have worked all day. It's gonna have to be compensation for them staying after hours to give their reports to.
So it depends on who is there to report. You could always have your regular part of your commission and then recess for that section of the agenda or that one agenda item. If we know that that's where the majority is going to be, you could arguably create a super complicated agenda, but you could have the rest of that, the regular business, everything with our department heads and elected officials reporting during that, and then just bring back the necessary staff.
With that
for
being
the
y'all's
6
first
p.m.
meeting, you'll have to elect chairman, vice chair.
And you can do all that housekeeping in the first Like if you did your 9 o'clock meeting and then recessed until a specific time of 6 p.m., then you could have your regular meeting over here at 9 a.m. and then recess to the Jake Lopez until 6 p.m. and just consider for that one agenda item that we anticipate having the public wanting to participate with. You could certainly do that. We could do anything.
You would also have a little problem with public input because it needs to be before the agenda. So they could speak before anything that was on the agenda. Oh, no. That'd be
And you could have public input twice if you wanted it specific to that agenda item.
well,
So I have one question. I've been visiting with another person about public input. Is there any way we can change our policy where we just have so many that speaks on this side and so many on this side? If you have 3 or 4, because repetition is just killing us. I mean, we hear the same thing over and over and over again. And it takes forever.
Well, that's at the discretion of the commission. So yes, other governing bodies limit it to a certain number that want to speak for and a certain number against. The city, I believe, has that policy and advertises it on the agenda. It is something that the commission would need to adopt at the January 10th meeting, or you would need to amend, because as it stands right now, your public participation limitations are only that you're limited to 3 minutes. So I know you want to hear from constituents. I would encourage that. I think right now is a tough time to change that because of the practice that the commission has had. I am happy to get a legal opinion. The commission can change it if you want to. You may want to wait until after this agenda item passes and then take that up for action after this one's
I'm
put to
good
bed.
with that. I'm good with waiting. But I know in the past years, we've run into the same thing. As chairman once before, I just flat shut everything off and said, that's enough, because nobody was bringing any more new information. It was the same old thing over and over and over. That's taking up their 15 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. It's just something to think about and consider, because, our time is just as valuable as anybody else's.
Mr. Grutter, I see one little problem with that is how are you going to pick, say you're saying for and against or whatever policies. How are you going to pick the 10? I mean, or is it going to be the first 10 people to get their name on the agenda to speak in
I
public?
didn't say 10, I said 3 or 4.
Well, 3. How you going to pick the 3 or 4? I mean, maybe I
That's
don't
up
want
to
somebody
their
speaking
group,
for me.
I would think.
Maybe I want to speak for myself the way I want it heard.
Well,
That-
we're in a
that'd be-
workshop for the fleet and the others.
Oh.
So I feel like we're not going to be, y'all haven't advertised this.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't
Yep.
take any action. You can certainly have discussion. And we know that we're going to be
Yeah.
moving. That was discussed in open meeting, talking about moving it to the Jake
If we've
Lopez and
learned anything,
advertising
we-
that.
Don't need to bring up anything that ain't on the agenda.
Well, you can discuss it. It's just that you need to put it on the agenda for the December 20th. So if you have something that you want to list on the December 20th, like changing the time of the meeting where everyone is
All asking
present.
for something to be put on the agenda.
Yes, then please let me know and I'm taking notes and I will have it ready for the December 20th meeting agenda.
I say you can put it on the agenda, but I do not share Paul's opinion. Even though I have a huge amount of respect for him, as far as I'm concerned. Any one of my constituents that go to the trouble, take the effort to come speak to us, I'm willing to listen to them if it takes all day and all night. I'm here to represent them, to hear from them, and I'm willing to listen to them. So to limit it in that way, I'm not in favor of that. And, our chairman has on several occasions admonished the speakers, please, if you don't have anything new to say, please don't take our time. And for the most part, they've been pretty good about it. I agree what Paul said. We sat here today and listened to a lot of stuff that was redundant, but But again, out of respect to my constituents, if they're here, if they take the time to come, I've got time to listen.
So would you like that as a discussion item on the next agenda to
Yeah.
look at
I
changing,
think it wouldn't be nothing wrong with having it.
modifying the public?
We have the other
participation.
commissioners here. They can
Yeah.
throw in there.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we need to get it on the agenda. We done found that out.
I'll call you right back.
Well, is there any more fleet or committee stuff we need to? Hey, I want the next meeting to go on and on and on and on and on and on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would like to propose that even commissioners get a 3-minute limit.
Per subject, huh? Get it fast. All right. Dennis, if you have nothing else, Dennis, you need to bring, we're gonna
So
we're gonna
I'll
do our workshop.
thank you, Ricky. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Department, the whole county.
We will try to get those documents signed today.
I appreciate you.
Amber says she'll take care of you.
Sounds good.
Bye. We're done.